So hello and welcome again. So it's our November research roundup now, and we're really pleased to be able to present GLAD research to you today. Before I hand over to Charlotte to do the presentation, we do have myself, I'm Kelly Moran, I'm one of the research nurses here within the Trust, and we have other members on the research team online as well. So if there's any questions at the end about the research department or research as a whole, then feel free to either put in the chat or have a little chat with us after. And also if there's any questions regarding the GLAD research as well. So I'll hand over to Charlotte if that's okay, and we'll do the presentation for GLAD.
Thank you very much, Kelly. So I'm just going to try and share my screen, hopefully with great success. Can everybody see that okay? Yeah? Okay, brilliant. So I'm Charlotte, I'm one of the clinical research practitioners here in the research team, and I am the lead delivery staff on the GLAD study. So GLAD looks at genetic links to anxiety and depression. It's one of our most versatile studies. We promote it a lot of places, so you will see us popping up about it. The PIs for this study are Nick Harwood and Dr. Jar, and it's been running in our trust since 2019. It was meant to be ending this month, November, but the study team have said that it is likely to be extended, so hopefully we can get some more recruitment in the next couple of years, but they're going to tell me for definite soon. Unfortunately, there's no GLAD study team to present to you today, so you've got me, but I have run the presentation by them and they've okayed it, so they added a few little bits about their findings as well. So I'm going to show you a video about GLAD that just tells you a little bit about what it is and why they're doing it, and it's from their chief investigator.
Anxiety and depression are common in society. In the UK, 1 in 6 people report depression or anxiety in the past year, and 1 in 3 experience symptoms during their lifetime.
The Genetic Links to Anxiety and Depression study is designed to be the largest study of anxiety and depression ever undertaken. It's designed to enable researchers to combine genetic and detailed information about symptoms to advance research. People with anxiety and depression are less likely to take part in research studies. With GLAD, we have designed the project so that it's much easier for people to take part.
There are 4 steps. The first is to go onto the website and to enter your email, and then we verify that to check that we know how to get hold of you. The next step is to provide consent, including allowing us to access your medical records for any information that might be relevant to the understanding of anxiety and depression and treatment outcomes. You then complete a questionnaire, which will take around half an hour to 40 minutes. And then after that, you'll be sent a saliva kit that you can complete at home. This will come through the regular post, and you open it and provide a saliva sample and pop it back in the post to us. Once we've extracted your DNA in the lab, we analyse it alongside DNA from thousands of other people. We compare tiny variations in the DNA and how they relate to anxiety and depression.
Only about half of people with anxiety and depression respond well to existing treatments.
And that's going to go on being the case until we work out how to improve the treatments that we have on offer.
It is only through carrying out studies at this scale that we can advance the health of future generations.
That's why this kind of research is so important.
So go to our website, sign up and consent, fill in the questionnaire online, and we'll send you the kit. It's as simple as that.
So that was a little bit about GLAD and why they're doing GLAD. This second video, it's a couple of minutes long, is going to explain a little bit about the bioresource and specifically the mental health bioresource. So if you consent to GLAD, you're also consenting to be part of the mental health bioresource, which is basically a bank of data from consenting individuals who are willing to be contacted about participating in similar genetic research in the future. And it's sort of an efficient and effective way of making sure that we're not contacting people over and over and over again to provide the same samples, because GLAD's looking for sort of 40, 50,000 people. So it's a good place to go to for more genetic research. So this video is just going to explain a little bit about that.
The Genetic Links to Anxiety and Depression study is a collaboration between King's College London and the National Institute for Health Research Mental Health Bioresource. The aim is to better understand the link between our genes and environmental factors in both anxiety and depression. The GLAD study is a way for those who have experienced symptoms of depression or anxiety to join the bioresource and, by creating the world's largest bank of volunteers with experience of these disorders, to support future research. What is the bioresource? Researchers are finding that our long-term health is affected by our environment and DNA. Together with our volunteers, we are creating a bank of genetic information called the bioresource. This will help us identify the factors involved in specific illnesses so that we can better diagnose and treat people. Whether you are taking part yourself or acting on a participant's behalf, we want you to be clear about what's involved. Taking part in the bioresource, providing a biological sample. We will ask you to provide a saliva sample which contains your DNA. Everyone has a unique set of DNA which contains the instructions needed for growth and reproduction. It is found in our cells and will help us understand the link between genetics and health. Sample processing and storage. We will store the sample in the bioresource laboratory with its own barcode, making it completely untraceable. Only a limited number of senior researchers will be able to link this back to your personal information. Completing questionnaires. We will ask you to complete some questionnaires about your medical history and that of your family, in case you are suitable for any future studies. Accessing medical records. We also need your consent to access relevant sections of your medical records. We may contact your GP or use your NHS number for this. Permission to contact you for future research. With your permission, we may invite you to take part in related research up to 4 times a year. What happens now? If you have read our information sheet and are happy to go ahead, we will ask you to complete our consent form.
So that just explained a little bit about the bioresource, and again, just reiterated a bit about the GLAD procedure itself. I just wanted to make clear about the accessing medical records, because I know sometimes that can be quite anxiety provoking, that researchers are looking at all your medical records. So this is just taken from the GLAD studies FAQ page. You can go and read that in your own time. There's lots of different FAQs about why they're doing it and what they're going to do, basically what the procedure is. But I just wanted to highlight these bits. So all the information that you provide is given an ID, so it's pseudo-anonymized. So an ID is given to you so it can link your questionnaire and your genetic data. And like it said in the short clip, that only a selected number of people will be able to link those together, like only a few people will know who you are from that. And it's all stored confidentially and securely. And also that they're only going to request relevant information from your medical records, so about your history of anxiety or depression and how you responded to treatment. So they're not going to be looking through all of your medical records. They're just going to be accessing those relevant sections with your permission. So just a few statistics about GLAD. The recruitment target was 40,000, but it's now 50,000. Our site target was 20. And our actual recruitment as of the end of last month is 174. So we've far exceeded sort of what was expected, which is great. And we're really actively trying to promote it at every opportunity. Recruited from all NHS sites. So this isn't the total recruitment, because you can recruit outside of the NHS, but just from NHS sites is nearly 8,000 people. And that was as of October. So that's great. But only just over 5,500 of the saliva kits have been sent back. So that is something to sort of reiterate that if you take part yourself, or if you're encouraging patients to take part, that they do send back those saliva kits, because obviously that contains all the important genetic bits for the study. So some of the findings so far that the study team shared, and this was from one paper. So symptoms were found to vary by age. So feeling anxious and irritable, more often reported for younger participants, whereas trouble relaxing, more often reported for older participants. And symptoms also vary by sex, and the classic diagnostic criteria reflects the presentation most commonly seen in younger males from this study. So men more likely to report the mood symptoms and motor symptoms of depression, and suicidal ideation and concentration problems more reported in younger men. And that is the study that it's taken from Thompson et al. 2012 and the 2021. And the DOI is there in case you want to read the full paper. And the study team did assure me that there's many other papers coming out, so it might be something that you're interested in and want to keep up to date with. So what now? So like I said, GLAD is a very flexible study. We do promote it to anyone. It's open to anyone at all, age 16 plus, living in the UK, and experience of current or historical symptoms of anxiety and or depression. And it doesn't have to be clinically diagnosed. So that is important. It doesn't have to be current, and it does not have to be clinically diagnosed. Open to anyone, staff, colleagues, friends, family, patients. Anyone who fits those criteria are welcome to take part. You just visit the GLAD study website. That takes you through all the information sheet, consent form. Like I said, there's FAQs as well, and it's quite a simple sign-up process. It will ask you if you heard about GLAD from an NHS trust, and if you say yes to that, and then if you select our trust from the drop-down when it asks you. And we really sort of encourage you doing that, because we want the central study team to know that we're actively promoting and recruiting to GLAD. If you work with any patients or support any patients who you think might be interested in taking part, we do have digital and physical leaflets that we can get to you to send out to encourage them, and also posters if you're allowing posters in any waiting areas. And then there's just a few information pages for GLAD specifically for NHS staff who are promoting it to patients. And I think that will be put in the chat as well, so you can access that. But like I said, if you go to the normal GLAD study website, it does have a lot of information on there anyway. And that's it. So thank you very much. And any questions?
Thanks, Charlotte. And we are obviously happy to have any questions for the research team as well, if there's not any questions regarding GLAD specifically. It's a really inclusive study, GLAD, as well, isn't it? Which is lovely. I mean, it can be for our staff, it can be for our service users, carers. So yeah, so and it's obviously going to help towards future research as well. So check the chat. Yeah, Tracy's just put a comment in there saying really good presentation, clear and concise information in 15 minutes. Well done. Yeah. Okay,
There's a hand up from Nick Howard.
Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, no, thanks, Charlotte and Kelly. I think it's a really interesting study, and it'll be really interesting to see what they find out. I'm sure most of us are keeping an eye on the debates and the arguments that are happening in psychiatry at the moment with regards to whether these conditions are all environmental, they're all trauma related, they're all based in some experiential type situation, and it's all medical, it's all serotonin related, and what I'm really struggling with at the moment is there seems to be very little balance. You have to take up one side or the other, when in fact, actually, I think, hopefully what we are able to acknowledge and reinforce is that anxiety, depression are complex situations that are probably all of those things. And if we can find the best possible treatments along the way, then we all need to work together on that, and you don't have to be in one camp or the other. So hopefully the results will be really interesting, and I'm hoping provide some balance in the debate going forward, but we'll see.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, and like you say, it will hopefully go on to then encourage further studies and, you know, and have that resource biobank there waiting and ready for that as well. So yeah, thank you. Is there any questions or comments? Well, thank you everyone for coming, and of course we'll have our December research roundup as well, so we will circulate again the link through comms, and we'll see you hopefully in December.